Shit, talk a black. Okay, so they're calling numbers and things, and I have number A191. So I do hear them call A196, but I have A191. And they called it again, and I guess no one said anything. They know what your name is with your number because you have to punch in your social security number to get the number. You know, a little ticket with the number on it. And they have the information right there on the machine when they call your name. So, I mean, when they call your number, so they know what your name is. And so 196 name was Robert Jenkins. And this is how I know you're playing a game with me and you're trying to rob me, but it's not going to work. Now, also, while I'm here, when I sit down, there's someone at this window. There's a melanated female who works for Social Security, but there's a non-melanated man who is on the other side. He's talking to her to try to get his case together or whatever he was doing, but he was talking loud. And the things he was saying, it was as though he was being targeted. I told my son, I said, if he's real, like I said, I don't know what the fuck's real. I don't know who's an actor. I don't know who's playing, whatever. I just don't fucking know. So I told my son, if he is real, then he is a target and he does not know it. And I said, or he could just be part of the game to sit there so that I can hear what he's saying, or anyone can hear what he's saying. So that I will think he is a target. So I don't know if he's a target, and I just know what he's saying. A targeted individual goes through that. And when they call Robert Jenkins, I said in my mind, yeah, niggas, I know you guys are about to rob me. And then I'm thinking about this guy. He's talking loud and he sounds as though he's getting upset. And then I see two security guards go and stand behind him. And I say to myself, make sure you do not talk loud. Because my voice, I've been told all my life, especially with this voice here, my voice is very authoritative. So I had to really tell myself, do not talk loud, do not talk loud, because I know they can't wait to take me and put me in a mental institution. They can't wait to do that, you know. They want to do whatever they can in their robbing power, in their robbing powers, to get me to come out of character so they can throw my ass in a mental institution. Okay, so once they came to get the guy, now after they come to get the guy, right after they call Robert Jenkins, they come to the security guards come to get the guy. But the guy, by the time they got there, he's standing up, he's signing papers, he's getting ready to leave or whatever. So I don't know where the guy went. I really don't. But then there was another guy who got loud right after that. And the security guards went to him and they escorted his ass out of there. And I wrote down his name and all kind of shit. And then, and that guy, he was acting like something was wrong with him. You know, like he really wanted to take his ass to a mental institution, you know, the way he was sounding. But the other guy, he didn't sound like he needed to go to a mental institution. He sounded very frustrated and irritated, you know. So then they called 190. It's A190 they call. So I say, okay, next. They went over that. They called 1902. And after that they called 1903. So I looked at my son. I saw these numbers random because, you know, they were calling the A's and they were calling the B's. But I had an A, so I didn't care about the B numbers. It was not of my concern. So, I don't like my mind to keep telling me stuff that I don't know. because I know they can put things in my mind, same way they can put shit in other people's mind and have me to think some stupid shit that's not real. So I go to the security guard. Hold on, I'm going to tell you how that went down. Okay, so I get up out of my chair and I get ready to go and ask the security guard, you know, like, you know, the number's random, or why did they pass me over, and go to A192 and A193, and I'm sitting there and they call A196 first. So I asked him, you know, are these numbers random or what? So, but before I got to him, there was a lady in the front. I was walking toward him and I said it loud enough for him. And I said, excuse me, loud enough for him to hear. And right as I said, excuse me, this pink bitch said, excuse me too, at the exact same damn moment. So he goes and whatever she says to him, I don't know. And when he turns away from her, I say, excuse me, he kept on going as though he did not hear me. So I followed his ass. And when he stopped, I got in his face, and then I said, excuse me. Because now, nigga, I know you heard me. If not, you read my lips. So I asked him about these numbers. You know, are they random? And I say, because, you know, they're calling numbers that are after me. He said, oh, you know, these are people who have appointments. And so they will call the numbers who have appointments first. Then they will call you. And I say, okay, you know, and I let them know. I just like to know things. I don't like my mind to tell me what's going on when I really don't know what's going on. I said, oh, okay, that sounds reasonable. To me, it did. But and then so I came and I sat down and I noticed that the girl, the melanated girl, you know, that the guy was sitting there and it sounded as though he was targeted. She had got up and left from her seat. And that window was straight in front of me too. And I said to myself, I'm going to go to that window. She's going to deal with all the targeted individuals today. So, sure enough, she calls my number and I go to the window. And she knew what was going on too. It didn't sound right. She knew it did not sound right. If Social Security is not going to, you know, send you your money, they will send you a letter to let you know why. You have a chance to clear everything up before that time. So she goes in and she looks and she says, you know, she asked me, did they send me a letter? And I said, no. I said, and again, you guys have my address wrong. This is not the first time they had my address wrong. Wow, the way they play with me with my address. So then she looks in there and she says, no, I don't even see a letter that was, you know, sent to you. You should have had a letter sent to you. I said the letter probably did come to me. As I said, again, you guys have my address wrong. So, you know, when I called on the phone, you know, that's when I allowed them to know my address was wrong. I'm going to talk about that too. That happened like 3 or 4 months ago. So now she gets up and she goes to speak to someone. And then when she comes back, I say, is it possible I can speak to a supervisor or something? I say, because I need to explain this, and it's going to be weird. I said, because it's strange to me. And then she said, no, someone, she got something in her machine. A supervisor or someone got into, you know, she got a message from them in her machine. She said, well, they asked me to ask you some questions. She said, they asked me to ask you some questions and just answer the questions. They said, okay. And so the question she asked, I can't just say yes or no to the question. It needs to be explained. And I told her that this is why I need to speak to someone, because I can't just do yes or no to these questions. These things need to be explained. And so she got up again. And then she came back. And we went through this shit again. And I answered her the dumbass questions as short as I could. And then she got her ass up again. And then when she came back, she said, yeah, at first she didn't even know that it was an express card. She thought I was saying car. They found out I had a car. I said, no. They said that there's $2,000 in this card. And I had to spell the word for her so she could understand what I was saying. She got her ass up again after that, because even she knew that was going on. What was going on did not make sense. Is she part of it? I don't know. Was she innocent? I don't know. I know when you watch that movie, The Game, the lawyer is innocent, but he will appear to be guilty, as though he is part of it. So is his ex-wife and her husband. They are innocent. But this program will have you think everyone is in on it, but everyone is not. Some people are very innocent. They don't know. It's like they get caught in the middle. And so she comes back, and then she says, yes, it has something to do with Indian money. Man, I looked at my son. When I looked at my son, we looked at each other at the same time. Indian money? Really? Indian money? So I told her, if I had Indian money, I would not be sitting here in front of you. If I was able to get Indian money, I told my son, not her, because she got her ass back up and she went wherever she was going to get all this stupid false information from, to bring this shit back to me. And then I slaughtered the false shit, and she gets her ass up again. So when she left, I told my son, I said, if I could get Indian money, I would live on the reservation. I would never bring my ass off the reservation. Never. There would be no reason for me to come out here and dissimulate it as well. No reason whatsoever. I wouldn't go to visit anyone. They would have to come visit me. So she comes, she sits her ass down. And then she says, well, I asked to see a supervisor. She said, well, you won't be able to see a supervisor. I was already told you won't be able to see a supervisor until you get this paper. Kind of hard for me to get that paper. And so I began to just ask her questions, you know, like the information they have. Is it possible I can get that? Because I'm supposed to have it in a letter, right? So that means I should be able to have that. I should be able to have that letter. And she told me she could not give me that information, but I'm supposed to have that letter. But I didn't get out of character with it, because I felt like that would have been the area that they would want me to get out of character with, because I am supposed to have that letter. But she didn't have the letter. It wasn't even in her computer. Someone's telling her a motherfucking lie. So she seems to be irritated now. And when I ask another question, she's irritated now. And she kind of snaps at me. And I ask, you know, why are you snapping at me? I'm on this side of the window. So why are you snapping at me? I'm not snapping at you. And when I said that, it seemed to bring her maybe out of a spell or something. So she says, well, when you call, because I was having a problem with this car because I got the car cut off. So they kept hanging up on me. You know, the phone would just hang up, because that car does not exist anymore. Though I did find out it has $1 on it, $1, but no one can use it. The card is no more. It's no good. So she told me, and it was as though she was whispering. She said, call this number. It's the same number I had. She said, but when you call, be as though you are trying to sign up for a card. That way you will be able to speak to someone. I said, oh, okay, because I could not get any I could not get a live person, and the machine kept hanging up on me, dealing with the card number, my social security number. It just hung up on me. And so uh, somewhere in there too, I told her, you know, I was really being confused about what was going on, and this when she got upset with me, you know, and I told her, you know, why you irritated with me? I'm on this side, and I told her, I said, I'm just really confused about the whole matter, and she said, so what about it are you confused about? And I said, why ain't supposed to get a letter to tell me that, and I can't get any information from you guys. You're just saying for me to call this number and that number. I said, and I said the real thing that really confuses me is who at Social Security put the money in the card, because the person who, when I came in to let them know my bank information, they also let me know that card would be turned off. So who would do that? And then she said, well, it can be the VA. I said, I'm not a veteran. I've never been in the military and not really even associated with anyone that was in the military, you know, while I was associated with them. So that's when she gave me the number 2, you know, the VA, Indian money. And seeing the movie Game, the girl, it seems like the more you find out about them, the more shit they pile on you. So the girl, she tells him something about his Swiss bank account or something. He calls it, there's no money there. Calls his lawyer gets back with him a couple of hours later or whenever, and the lawyer tells him, oh, I called, your money is all there. They were trying to make that man seem as though he was delusional, he was losing his mind, and no one is delusional. You go to sleep at night, you wake up the next morning, you're goddamn delusional. I don't think it works like that. And I'm not going to be a spoiler, so I'm not going to say anything about the part of his money. Now, at the end, I'm going to say this. They had that man to want to kill himself. And I don't want to give away the movie, so he did not kill himself. But he would have. And then I'm going to give this part of the movie away. One of the guys came up and he told him, he said, oh man, I was so glad you jumped, because if you had not jumped, I would have had to push you. See, so they push people so much to the edge that they jump, you know. And they took his money, put it, you know, from out of Swiss bank account, and that's all I kept thinking about was I just watched this movie, The Game. And now they want to fuck with my money like it is a game. And this is not the first time. My son went like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So I think every 3 months they're going to fuck with me. So I'm going to start documenting everything, names and everything. I already documented all this stuff. I just don't have names, dates, times. But now I'm dealing with names, dates, and times. Because I'm not going to keep dealing with this shit from Social Security. If these bastards had not crippled me, and then I would be doing my own thing, and I would not need Social Security, because I worked hard. I worked my ass out because I did not want to hold hands with the government. I worked my way off of welfare twice, not once but twice. Where I was not on welfare, my children not on welfare, we're not getting Medicare, none of that shit. Once I did it with the nation of Yahweh, and once I did it just with me and my children. Next thing I know, I'm a targeted individual, celebrity type targeted individual. And they say they want you to not lean on them, but yeah, they do. They want you to lean on them. If you don't lean on them, they will come after your ass. So like 3 months ago, maybe, my son, he went to pay the rent or whatever, and he comes back to tell me that the money was not put in the bank. So I called. I had no problem whatsoever, none whatsoever. And oh, I didn't tell you this. The girl that got on the phone, the girl that I talked to on the phone the Thursday, who told me there was $2,000 in this card, Normally, when I hang up from talking to someone, Frankie J taught me to do this, and then Yahweh Ben Yahweh, he like instilled it in my mind. When you get off the phone from talking to someone, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, big business or little business, but when it's business, you ask for the name. And she told me, oh, my name is Shay with an E. Well, they will come and connect themselves to people. You know, my granddaughter's name is Shay. Not only that, my daughter, my third daughter, she was targeted once by someone named Shay, but the police actually helped my daughter out with that. Sure did. So this is how I knew they were playing the game with me, just from Shay. And it took her so long to give me the information. It never takes long to get the information. And now I go back to what I was saying like 3 or 4 months ago. My son went to pay the rent. The money was not there. I called Social Security. It took no time for me to find out what happened. And they gave me this person's name. I guess they just social worker or something like that. So they gave me the phone number, and then they connected me to her phone. She didn't answer. I left her a message. 48 hours passed by. She did not call me. I called back. They said, well, they have 48 hours. I said, it's been past 48 hours. This is the 4th day. I gave her 3 days to call me, and I'm not counting the day I called her. This is the 4th day. So they said, well, we're going to put you through again and leave another message and let her know that. And I did. And then I called her. She didn't call me 20 minutes later. I called her. I told my daughter I'm going to call her every 20 fucking minutes. I'm going to blow her motherfucking machine up. And I did. So before 4 o'clock that day, when I blew her goddamn machine up, she called me back. And she told me the reason that I did not receive my benefits is because the benefits, but she said my benefits, but I like to say the benefits, is because she sent me out 3 letters saying that I had to come in. You know, I didn't know Social Security is like welfare, but it is. You have to go and reapply again or some shit, or you have to go and for verification or some shit. Whatever I had to do, she said she sent me 3 letters. That's when I found out they did not change my address. I called on the phone, talked to someone, and changed my address. And when I changed my address, I helped them to read it back to me to make sure. So whoever I talked to, someone took my address out. She said she sent it to an address I had before I moved here to my own apartment. And I told her that. And so she told me that, and I told her, I said, you know, I'm on a walker. You guys are going to break my back. Sometimes I think all of you are in on wanting to break my back, to have me run here and run there. And I said, and you know, now I wear a neck brace too, but I supposed to. I don't wear it because I already look retarded enough on a walker. I'm not trying to look that goddamn retarded with a neck brace. Okay, calm down. Okay, so she says to me, you know, I told her these things too. So she says to me, you don't have to come to me. I will call you tomorrow at such and such a time. You have this ready, have that ready. I wrote everything down I needed to have ready for her. And she would do the interview over the phone. And we did that, and we took care of that. And 3 or 4 hours later, my money was in my car. I had no problem with it. And then I gave her my correct address, and I also had her read it back to me. And she did. She read it back to me correctly. She told me she was putting it into her computer, and my new address would be there. And I do get mail from them, from here at this address. I did get some mail from them. So why did they all of a sudden I didn't get a letter this time? And the letter was not even in his computer. She saw that no one sent me a letter, and also my address is wrong again. So see, I know someone that's dealing in Social Security, and it doesn't have to be anyone in that office. The reason I would say it was someone in that office is because she kept getting up going to speak to someone. Whoever she was speaking to, they acted as though they were scared of me, and that's why they did not want to talk to me. You know, I guess maybe they're not good of an actor to tell me lies in my face to face. Because you know, I noticed too, when the perps come around me, I look them dead in the fucking eyes. I look them dead in the face, and they hurry up and turn their head. They don't even look at me again, period. Or they may get off at the next stop, you know, when I'm on the trolley or the bus. Or if I'm sitting somewhere and I know you are a perp, I can smell your ass, so I know you are a perp. And I give them a certain look. They get their asses up and move somewhere else. You damn right, get the fuck away from me. So, you know, that's what I wanted to say. You know, even though you are elderly or disabled, they don't give a fuck about playing the game on you. So this is 25 minutes in. I'm going to come in and say, come back and let you know how this shit was resolved. Shit talk a lot, heroes.